All right, for lab 3, most of your work is going to be in getting the layout set up. That's the first part. You can use the 2 columns with left navigation. You can have a top header, or you can do a 3-column layout. Highly, highly recommend that you use the code that is in your textbook that shows you exactly how to do this. What it does is it assumes that all your pages have the 4 main components of the body. It has a header, it has a nav, it has a main, and it has a footer. Back from lab 1 when we did that, if you kept going through and putting your pages into that format, you're in good shape. Because what you have to do is you then have to just come in and create the CSS that then manipulates and moves those things around. And so I did the 2-column layout here with navigation on the left. So my header is up here, my nav is moved to the left, and my main section and my footer line up next to it in these columns. And so that's a big chunk of the grade. So if you already have your pages in that format with header, nav, main and footer, then you're good to go, because what I would do if I were you is I would just put the CSS that's required. You can practically use it word for word out of the textbook. Put that into your external style sheet, which is already hooked up to all of your pages, and it's going to automatically make all of your pages look like they need to look on this lab. So that's the first thing. And then you have a couple of little things that you have to do along the way. You have to update your links if you haven't already done that. I forgot to tell you to do it last lab, so I'm going to tell you to do it this lab, and make sure that they go to all of your other pages. You're going to put your links into an unordered list, and you're going to use CSS to change the bullet to an image. So I have like a tiny little hippo that I have used as my bullet here. If you use a gymongous image or a full-size image, it's going to make your page look wonky, because what it does is it has to accommodate all of that. So you'll see like your big image and then the link, and then your big image and then your link. So what I recommend doing, if you don't have an image, you can't find a small image, do a quick search on Google for image resize free. What you do is you upload your image, you tell it what size you want it to be, and then you just download the smaller image and use it as your bullet. Okay. So we have our hippos here. Then I also have the hover pseudo class, and remember that is a state of the link that when I move my image over the link, I can change the styles. I would put this in my external style sheet as well, so it applies to all your pages. You don't have to, because I don't specifically tell you where to put it, but it saves you a lot of time if you put it in your external style sheet. And so in this case, I have a hover that changes 2 properties. I hover over, it takes away the underline of the link, changes the background color, and changes the font color as well. So I actually have 3 things that are being changed on my hover, but you're only required to change at least 2 CSS properties. The last thing you have to do on this image is you're going to do positioning. So you're going to mess with how these things line up. I've used relative positioning on mine. And so here's the normal place for the cheetah that I have. Normally, if I didn't have positioning going on behind the scenes, this gorilla would line up right over here. And so I've used relative positioning on my images to offset those. And again, you can do this in your external style sheet. You can do it in an embedded style sheet. You can also do it inline if you want to. But just make sure that you have 2 styles. You'll tell what kind of positioning you're going to use, either relative or absolute, and then you'll tell it the direction that you're going to offset that. And then that's it. All you have to do is make sure you zip everything up. Make sure you have all of your image files still included. So you're going to have the 10 files from last lab, but potentially you're also going to have a new image with the bullet. So get that zipped up, get it submitted by the due date, and you are in good shape.